At times, one can feel a little bit overwhelmed because of the water, your air, and all the poisons they put in most of the foods. Well, at least in the US, you know. But if you don't decide to leave, then you could kind of, there's ways that you could go about it, that you could help, like your skin, your hair, your stomach, your brain, you pretty much, you know. There's other ways, you get me. It's just the like lots of parts in the US, like it's kind of just been a little bit forgotten, like to take care of it, you know, to focus. Everyone was just focused on like individually themselves, you get me. But no one really focuses on like, oh, okay, my land, you know, how is it doing, you get me. Or in other countries, oh, okay, like, or if you go to Europe or something, or Canada, or different countries, depending, you know. There's others that goes even where the people like it just, it could even be worse. But it's that it's that it can still be mended for at least yourself and the ones you know, and kind of the stuff around you, your home, you know, your the stuff you use, your car, stuff like that. It can be mended in a way. Say if like, okay, for your food, I mean, it could go down a whole list of food. But I, like, if people, or if like friends ask me or family asks me, like, so what do you do then, like, for the food? I just simply tell them, like, the Trader Joe's market, just go shop there. That's it. That's all you have to do. Like, something just simple. You get me? It's gonna be maybe a little bit like if you're far from it, or maybe certain things are expensive, certain things are way cheaper, certain things like, but it's all good priced. You get me? It's priced for a specific reason, because of how it is to attain it, where it comes from, the abundance of how it, like how much like one has of it, and all those different factors come into what the price will be. But overall, they make the effort to make it the most affordable for what it is. You get me? For what they're selling. So that would be on the food. Say on your water, I mean, a good amount of the water has so many different metals and different substances, whether it be like synthetic or organic, both many different in the water. So what you could do with that, say if like, oh, okay, if you're at home, so you could get like a water cleaning system. If you decide, I mean, depending where you live. Okay, so say if you're like, if you live in Sweden, you're not really gonna need a water cleaning system, because, well, the water that they have supplied through all the cities is clean enough to drink. But say if you live, okay, like in Florida, or California, or New York, or Wyoming, or wherever, pretty much like in the US, most of it, you'd probably need a water cleaning system. Unless you really know that the water that you're getting is from, like, say, different mountains, or the area that you know, you're intertwined with it, that you know enough that where, okay, the water is pure enough where it can be drank or bathed in, you get me? Because a lot of the water over time, it'll burn, and like everything that's on it, your skin absorbs. So I mean, you absorb it. I mean, one doesn't think because it's on the outside, but you absorb it. So in the end, and it goes down, like, and it goes to your environment after the drain. It's not like it goes through you, but then after that, it's still polluted water, which is being like cycled. You get me? Even though it's cleansed a little bit, if it's not cleansed the correct, or a pure way enough for us to be able to drink it as it's coming out of our faucet, then slowly it starts to become, oh shit, it slowly starts to become like slowly more and more dirtier. It starts to decay, it starts to slowly rot, you get me, everything around it. So that would be for like the water, of how the water could help you, which that's one important thing. I mean, I feel like the water, like of what you bathe and you drink, it's pretty important, you know. So I mean, that helps out a lot, you know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It depends where you live, but like I would say if you're most likely in the U.S., probably most likely most of the spots you'll probably want to get a water cleaning system. If you're maybe in Germany or Italy, I mean, maybe you're okay. You know, you don't really have. I mean, unless you want. Or still depending on your area. That's what I'm saying. But that's why. I mean, it could help. It helps you. It helps your environment. It helps the world. So in the end, it'll help. You get me? So why not? That's how I see it. It helps your skin. It helps you like so like. I mean, your skin will feel and be healthier. I mean, same with your hair, because your hair releases oils to be able to protect you, to nourish your hair, and if that water is, your hair is going to absorb it too. So it'll nourish your hair, having cleaner water. It'll nourish your skin. It'll nourish your eyes. Like, and everyone, your babies, your mom, your dad, your cousin. Doesn't really matter, but you kind of, or your friends. If you clean the water, then it'll just be better off for everyone. You get me? The environment and everyone that you know and yourself. So I mean, why not? I would say that. It is. Depending on what type of water system you get, whether you get a shower filter water system, a whole system built into your house or into wherever you're living, your condo, your apartment, or like, depending if you could have it too. But I mean, if you just make that little efforts for that, it even kind of, in the end, in turn, it actually is worth it more in the end. Because why? Because like, the water uses cleaners, so it won't decay like the corners of your floors slowly, or the corners of your walls, or maybe slowly whatever you use it on, say it be your furniture or whatever. I mean, water is incorporated into many things. If the water is just contaminated, over time it'll destroy, it'll decay, depending on like how impure the water is. There's some cities or some states that have way more like contaminated water, synthetic or organic, or others will have a little less but still contaminated. So it'll take a longer process for it to be like for it to affect. But in the end, it would still it would help, because in the end it's better off for everyone. I would say the whole planet and beyond. You know, it just is. It just really is. And save for the air. I mean, the air is such like, we'll share it so much so in a way that it can kind of, well, I mean, it's shared, you get me, between everyone. I could go a little more deeper into that, but say if you'd want to just kind of like cleanse a lot of like stuff that you would have like at home inside, you get me? So then you just get an air purifier. There are different ones. There are different, obviously, types, what material, what type of technology they use in each air filter. So, I mean, each one's gonna vary. I mean, I would recommend for the it's called the company Blue, and they're from Sweden, and they make several different types of air purifiers and several different sizes too. And I mean there are many other types too. A lot use HEPA filters. So I mean, but that's one I would recommend. It's pretty good. Like I've researched the technology they have into it. It's pretty good technology. And well, I mean, it actually feels pretty good. Like when you use it inside, it's like, whoa, it's like, okay, but that's why there are many different ones. Maybe you could find one that's even better, or not better in a sense, but different, and it still feels good, or you just find one that just fits you. It doesn't really matter. But if you make that effort to try to cleanse it, try to clean it, it's better for you, it's better for your neighbor, for your family, for your plants, for your cat and dog. I mean, it's just, I would just say it's all good for all, that's why. So I mean, those are 3 ideas that you could do. Obviously with like the market, I'm saying a simple Trader Joe's. There's other good markets like the sell organic, natural, or like Sprouts, Mother's Kitchen and Market, groceries, You get me? And then, so some of those are only in certain states. You get me? So I mean, I'm in California. Groceries isn't really in California. They have it in Colorado, and Arizona and Nevada, but and like other states also. But you get me? Like or like Mother's Market, like they'll have it like certain, or depending what state you're in or what country you're in, they're gonna have different ones. You get me? But yeah, so I mean like. It might seem a little overwhelming to kind of like, oh, okay, the food, the water, the air, but after it all, it's kind of like it becomes kind of part of you, of it, or of you, of life, kind of. You get me? It actually it becomes like even more simple afterwards. In the beginning, it's just because maybe even like it was kind of overwhelming to me. Why? Because I was ignorant into the fact of what there is, or how much, or I just didn't know about that type of technology, or that exists. So I mean, to me, yeah, I mean, or to anyone, it could seem overwhelming, but it's not. Once you have like, okay, if you already have your one brand for the air and your one brand for the water, and it's working out good, and there's a Trader Joe's close by, like just down the street, and bam, you're set, you know? Slowly you'll learn maybe over time more, you get me? Because other things will kind of come, like even one will be curious, like, oh, like I'm buying from here, but maybe or maybe I could go to here, or maybe this brand or like is a little bit different than this one. They have this type of technology, or like this store gets it from this place, or stuff like that. Slowly it'll become more and more apparent, like how like you'll understand it, and it'll become more easier, you get me? And you'll be able to differentiate, like, okay, okay, this is how it is here, this is how it is there. So you'll be able to differentiate, like, okay, like maybe this is a little more like better for everyone, and then maybe this one isn't working out so much. Through experience too, you'll kind of slowly see it, like, oh wow, or you'll feel it, like, wow, it is better if it's cleaner, or if it's more pure. It just is. I mean, you know, and like, it's just nice. It's just nice how like all that, in a sense, how we can connect all that together with everyone. So I mean, it'll be good for you, the environment, your family, and the planet, and beyond. So I mean, it may seem like a little bit, but if you add up all the hands that go together, it makes millions, billions. And well, I mean, each individual choice that everyone makes, you get me, will add up to it, you get me? So I mean, if one, then 1,000, then 1,000,000, then 1,000,000,000, I mean, there you go, you know? So I mean, that's that much more cleansed, or that much more pure. So, and even the earth kind of will feel it, you know, and the animals, and you can maybe even see it in the actual air and water, you know, stuff like that. So I mean, when the world connected together is something, it's just something so nice, and just we would just have to just, yeah, or just give it a shot, you know. It'll help out even on many other aspects that maybe one didn't even think, you get me, how you'll feel, your emotions too, psychological, and very physical and emotional. So yeah, maybe just give it a shot. It'll go good.